So maybe you're in your 20s and you're just getting into the workforce and you're looking around and everybody who's probably much older than you is still grinding at a job they hate, probably never gonna retire, and you're thinking, how can I retire by age 30? Well, I've done it. I'm gonna show you exactly how to do it in this video. Stay tuned. What's up, Fruitful investors? Welcome to my channel where, yes, I am a YouTuber, but I'm also a real business owner and real entrepreneur doing shit in the background, not just up here on YouTube talking about it. So in this video, I'm gonna share with you how to retire by age 30. Now, you probably realize by now, if you're in your early 20s and you're into the workforce, everybody around you is telling you to like climb the corporate ladder, that you gotta grind until you're 60, and then you're probably not even gonna have enough to retire by then because of things like inflation, which are just eating away at people's money. And so forth, just grind, and hopefully you can retire by age 60. Well, the millennial generation, which is me and you, if you're in your early 20s, the Gen Zs, are probably realizing that, hey man, there's a better way to do this. The old boomer way of like grinding until you're 60, your body's all broken down, you can barely stand up, you can barely walk and enjoy your retirement because you grinded so hard. That's probably not the best way of how to live life and how to, make this retirement an amazing life. So in this video, I'm gonna share with you a bunch of ways on how I've done it. Now, if you don't know much about me, I'm a real estate investor. I've bought over 45 rental properties and have recently sold them off to cash out on those great gains. We have flipped over 100 homes. So we're deep into real estate. We have an employee team, which is able to scale this business where I do very, very little work if I want to. If I want to keep working, then it's kind of an option, which is probably what you're looking for if you're watching this video. So let's get right into it on how we can set you up for retirement by age 30. Number one, reduce expenses and wasteful spending. So the one thing you can do if you're in your early 20s is to, I hate to say it, but stay with mom and dad as long as you can to kind of save up that money, save up down payments for properties, or just save up money to do whatever you want to do with your life, or at the very least, live with roommates, kind of rent a house all together. If the rent's $1,000 a month and there's 4 or 5 of you, well, that's very, very, very cheap living. Now, the problem is a lot of millennials, and especially Gen Zs, they don't want to do that anymore. It's gross, it's weird, it's stupid. I want a place of my own. We're kind of two spoiled generations, to be honest. We got to cut that shit. You got to grind and do the shit at the beginning so that you don't have to grind later. So if you can ideally stay at home with mom and dad as much as you can, keep skilling up with your jobs, keep skilling up with your skills on how to grow a business or whatever, and most importantly, save that money and stop buying shit like nice cars and nice watches, nice Rolex. Dude, I'm a multimillionaire and I'm wearing this Fitbit. It's like $100. I refuse to buy a Rolex because it just doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. Hey, sorry to interrupt the video. I know you're learning something cool and I love to give you investing tips here on YouTube every single week. But if you want to accelerate your growth and cut years off your investing journey, I can just give you all of my secrets. Check the courses out below. Whether you want the exact materials and products that I use on my flips and rental properties, I have a course for that. I give you all the links to everything we buy in all of our properties. If you want to learn how I raised over $50 million all from videos like this on YouTube and Instagram, I have a course for that. I'll show you how to attract joint venture partners like this. Or if you want personal one-on-one coaching from me and a ton more, see the links below. Anyway, just want to let you know, enjoy the rest of the video. So just save money in that aspect. Stop being so flashy with all your shit because it means nothing. I know a lot of friends when I was in my early 20s who were buying nice cars, whatever, and they're still just like an average person. They're just working their jobs, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't do any of those things. I just grinded, research, just work in my early 20s. And now, like I said, I have the option to work. I don't have to work at all if I don't want to. And I'm 34 now, I'm turning 34 this year. But I had that option when I was 28, 30 of not working if I didn't want to. So go out less, be frugal as you can, but there's a caveat to being frugal and saving money is I don't want it to become like a mindset for you of like who you are and like a forever thing of being frugal and cheap. Because what often happens, and this is big like in the FIRE community of like financial independence, retire early, of just like living cheap, like eating alphagettis out of a can until you're like 50 and just living cheaply. I mean, it's cool and all, but it's probably not what you're looking for if you want like an abundant, awesome life. But it's a necessity in your early 20s, but what I'm trying to say is don't make it like a thing forever because that mentality is a very restrictive mentality. And what I mean by that is all you're thinking about is reduce. How can I squeeze? How can I, just live small? I don't want you to do that. I want you to live big and think big. How can I make so much money that it doesn't matter what I buy? Okay, like that's what I want you to get to eventually. But like I said, it's a necessity in your early 20s to get there by retirement early at 30. Once you're there, you have so much money coming in from whatever businesses you're doing, ideally real estate, which we'll talk about later. But that's kind of the mindset I want you to get later. But the frugal mindset's a necessity at the beginning. But like I said, don't make it a part of who you are, or like this identity of like, I'm this frugal person, all I order is water when I go to restaurants. Don't be that guy when you're 35 or whatever. Number 2, increase your income. So the best way to increase your income and focus, and this is really important in your early 20s, especially if you're living at mom and dad's or with roommates, is you need to increase your income. And specifically, you want to specialize at something and be great at something. So for example, when I started off in my early 20s, I became a specialist at real estate investing, and specifically single family properties in real estate investing. So when it came to buying single family properties, I knew exactly what you were gonna buy them for, what you were gonna sell them for in my local area. I knew how much it was gonna cost to renovate them. Even before I walked in, I knew exactly how much it was gonna cost. I knew exactly what the rent was gonna be. I knew exactly who the clientele was gonna be, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It was so deep and focused that because I became a specialist. And what happened was my business blew up as a realtor and as a real estate investor. I had so many clients coming in, so many JV partners wanting to partner with me because they're like, Matt, dude, you know exactly what you're doing. You know exactly how this whole process works. I don't really know how to do it. Let's just have you take care of everything. Let me partner with you. Please let me be your client, et cetera, et cetera. So when you're a specialist, people really run to you because people like to work with other people who kick ass, right? Especially in investing and in the business world, people are giving me their money, right? They don't want to lose their hard-earned money. So who are they going to go with? Who are they going to do business with is a specialist instead of just like a Joe Blow who's, you know, just dabbling in real estate investing or whatever business that you want to do. The biggest example I give is, let's say you break your foot. Do you want to go to a foot doctor specifically where all they do is just surgeries on feet every single day? I don't know what this doctor is called. I don't know, a podiatrist? I don't think so. A foot doctor. Or would you rather go to like a general surgeon who like will probably fix your foot decently, like they'll get you out of the hospital and get you walking hopefully in a couple months? Or would you rather have like the specialist who's like, dude, I see this broken foot, this way of how you broke it, I see it all the time, I know exactly how to fix it. Would you rather go to them? Well, they're probably gonna cost a little more, but like you're gonna be perfect when you get out of the hospital, right? Like I'd rather go with that specialist, and so does everybody else who's kind of looking for people to do business with. So you can start a side hustle, which is really cool in your 20s. If you want to dabble into stocks or crypto, or if you want to start your business, whether it's like photography or if you're a plumber and you know you're working all day as a plumber as an apprentice, and then you're going to do side jobs after work to just build your clientele, build your skills, whatever you got to do. But think of how you can do side hustles and really increase your income and specifically increase your skills. And the next thing I want you to do in this how to increase your income is to invest consistently, which is something that is like so important. For example, as I always say, if you were buying stocks, let's say at age 20 and just putting $100 a month or $100 a year, let's say, because you're starting off low, $100 a year into Apple stock, right? If you put $100 a year every year until you're age 50, right, you're gonna be even way richer than, let's say, the guy who's 40 years old, who's had kids, settled down, bought the home, they have a great income now because they're 40, they're set in their career, and now they're like, hey, now I have to play catch up. I'm gonna put $1,000 a day, or $1,000 a year into Apple stock. By age 50, you, the 20-year-old, would still be way farther, way richer because of the thing called compound growth. So compound growth is really important. So the best thing you can do as a young person is take advantage of that and start investing consistently. So what I really like, if you're young, you don't really have a lot of money, and I wish I knew this, I just started this now, but is investing in ETFs or the stock market. So for example, I invest in the S&P 500. That's my main bread and butter. That's the main ETF and stock I buy, which is the 500 largest companies in America, all kind of pooled in. So I'm just investing in the whole pool of 500 companies, very diverse, very low risk in the sense that, you know, if I invest all my money into Facebook and Facebook does something weird, like, you know, it's kind of recently going on, their stock just plummets, you're taking the whole plummet. Like their stock dropped like 30-40% since the all-time high, like just a few months ago. The S&P dropped about 10%, 12% because of that. So because it's so diverse, so slower gains, but also slower declines, which is what we really want. We don't want to lose your money, especially when you're young. Like I said, compound growth. So who cares if the S&P 500 grows super slow? By the time you're 50, you're gonna be very rich. Now, if you put all that money into Tesla or like a growth stock, would you be richer? Potentially, but you could also lose it all. So for me, I'm boring. I'm like Warren Buffett style. I'm actually like a boomer mentality, even as a millennial, but I like boring, and more guaranteed. So what I like to always say is, I wanna get rich for sure, not maybe. So if I'm investing in the S&P 500, and I'm 34 now and I'm putting a lot of money in, by the time I'm 50, am I gonna be very, very rich from just these stocks again? Almost guaranteed, yes, because the American market is a sure thing in the long term. It is going to go up. All the companies in the S&P 500 are going to go up. They're the largest cap stocks, Microsoft, Apple, Google, Amazon. Okay, these companies aren't going anywhere. They're only going up in the long term. So it's almost guaranteed to make money off it. So why would I piss around and try and find these crazy growth stocks as my main strategy? I ain't doing it, right? So I'm very, very boring like that. Third thing you can do on how you can retire by the age of 30, kind of guarantee that, is to invest in yourself. So this is very, very big. You probably hear this all the time, but hiring coaches and mentors, let's say if you want to be a real estate investor like me at that age, hiring someone who's ahead of you, who's walked the path, who knows the path, and just giving you the answers is crucial. Like, you need to hire a mentor in whatever field you want to specialize in, reading books, buying courses, whatever. Just fill your head with knowledge, but I also want you to act on it, okay? So don't just like read books and watch courses or whatever and do nothing. Like, you need to take action, which kind of leads me to the last one, take action. Because so many people, I would say majority of people never take action. They just kind of read and say, I'll do it later, I'll do it next year, and just put it off and put it off and put it off. And that's literally the killer of every dream for financial independence. I know so many people who have come into like my sphere while being a real estate investor or a realtor specializing with investors, saying like, I want to invest in real estate, and 7 years we meet up at some conference and they're at the same spot where they were before, and I'm like miles and miles and miles ahead simply because of taking action. So you need to be like literally obsessed with financial independence, and if you're not, you maybe have a good life, a decent life, but if you want an amazing life, living life on your terms, you need to be disgustingly obsessed, which is probably my #1 best asset of why I am where I am. It's just I'm disgustingly obsessed. Nothing's getting in my way. Nobody's getting in my way. Like, this is gonna happen, and I'm gonna make it happen. And I do. I work a lot, especially my early 20s, 10, 12-hour days all the time. Now, not so much, but I have the option to do that if I want to, and we still do some of those crazy work days if we want, which is the whole biggest important thing on how to become financially independent, or why you want to become financially independent at a young age, is the option to work. Do you want to fly to Greece with your family, at age 32 and have it all paid for, and your tenants are paying for it and whatever? Yeah, that's pretty sweet, right? So we want to do things like that and have the option to live life on our terms. Anyway, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. If you did, smash that like button. Also hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.